serve Agbujedi and other boosters at Owambe's. If you don't know what Owambe means, it means, parties and all of that. Other headlines reported in the Vanguard newspaper this morning is saying that there will be only two genders. Trump promises end to transgender lunacy. That's on the foreign scene. A couple of other stories are reported there this morning today. We'll go for this short break now. When we return, we'll bring you details. Please stay with us.
Top stories, real voices
have arrived in Lagos, according to authorities in Nigeria.
Tune in to Adamimogo 107.7 FM for a fresh perspective on news. Adamimogo 107.7 FM, the voice of the light.
Hello, good people of Ekiti State and its environment. For your private, political, family, or club meetings, and so on, of not more than 50 to 100 participants, we introduce to you Adamimogo Event Hall. Yes! Right at Olojudo's Palace, Adamimogo 107.7 FM's compound, Ido Ekiti. Ample parking space, good security, clean environment. You also have the opportunity to book for a media publicity of your event on our fast-growing social media platforms. All these for a talking. Simply visit us at Olojudo's Palace, Ido Ekiti, or call the following numbers for more inquiries: 0803-526-5812 or 0916-340-0878 or 0806-511-4430. You can also call 0806-380-8891 at Adamimogo Event Hall. We are waiting for your patronage.
Of the stories or headlines that I read to you earlier, the Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM is what you're listening to, where we're bringing you stories making rounds in the national dailies. And I start from the Punch newspaper with this leading story that says Stampede Death. States list tough conditions for palliative distribution. Now, the details are saying that as part of efforts to prevent tragedies at public events, several states have started the implementation of strict precautionary measures. This comes after 67 people, 35 of them children, died in stampedes in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, Okija, Anambra State, and Abuja during a funfair and food distribution ceremonies. In the rush to secure free food items from the organizers, some of the participants were trampled upon, resulting in fatalities, while 35 children were confirmed dead by the police in Ibadan. 10 people died in Abuja and 22 persons were reported killed in Okija. In a decisive action, the Lagos State government mandated individuals and groups to register with state safety agencies when planning for events expected to host more than 250 attendees, both during and after the UTAD. The government emphasized that failure to comply with these directives would result in sanctions for event organizers. At a media briefing on Sunday, the State Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Relations, Gbenga Oyerinde, and his counterpart in the Ministry of Information and Strategy, Gbenga Motosho, alongside heads of state safety commissions, stressed the importance of adequate crowd control measures in preventing tragedies. There were a lot of development there. Also in Ondo State, the Ondo State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Olukayode Ajulo, SAN, introduced new crowd control guidelines for law enforcement, event organizers, and local authorities on Sunday. Ajulo explained that guidelines were established under the legal authority of the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended, the Ondo State Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2015, and the Nigerian Police Act 2020. The directive partly reads, and I quote, "Law enforcement must assess risk for all public gatherings, considering factors like expected attendance, venues, suitability, and potential security challenges." That's the development there from Ondo State. Also, Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State called for more structured and safer approach at distributing relief materials to prevent stampedes and loss of lives. That's In Abia State as well, Governor Alex Oti has taken measures to forestall similar incidents in this state. Also, Akwa Ibom state government said it had taken measures to avoid stampede in the state by decentralizing palliative sharing that attracts large crowd in the state. A couple of states have been coming up with several measures. Also, Rivers State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Joseph Johnson, said they had placed measures down to ensure such tragedy don't happen in the state. In Delta State, the government said it received with deep shock and sorrow the news of the recent stampede in some parts of the country. Commissioner for Information also, Ifeanyi Ozuoazo, stated made the revelation, stating that the government has also put measures in place to prevent such occurrences. Those are some of the measures put in place by state governments to prevent further stampedes across the country. See details in the Punch newspaper this morning. Stampede death, states list tough conditions for palliative distribution. In the Vanguard newspaper, Abuja stampede crowd overwhelming. We were swept away. Survivors says the promise of hope and goodwill that comes with Christmas was shattered in a devastating stampede at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Maitama, Abuja over the weekend. This was intended to be a Christmas charity event turned into tragic loss, claiming the lives of at least 10 individuals, including 4 children, and injuring many more. Now there have been, controversies and development, saying reactions and all of that. In the incident in Abuja and those in Ibadan and Okija in Anambra State yesterday compelled, the federal government will issue an advisory on public events during the Utah season, as reported by the Vanguard newspaper this morning. It's highlighted some areas to look into: adversary, human floods, survivors recount experiences where they said many had come from the farthest reaches of these local communities in the nation's capital, where opportunities for relief are scarce. We came for help, lost everything. Those were their words. See how it is detailed in the Vanguard newspaper. As a matter of fact, some of the survivors says that I didn't know I'd survive. It's such a terrible experience there. And the Vanguard newspaper, again, the headline says Abuja stampede, crowd overwhelming, we were swept away. That's according to survivors. Paper, obese systemic failures for stampede death uncharitable, says Omokri. That's part of reactions trailing the development so far. A former presidential aide, Mr. Ren Omokri, has urged the former Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, not to politicize the recent fatal stampede in some parts of the country, saying doing so amounted to politicizing the people's tragedy. About 39 persons were found dead in Okija, Anambra State, and Matama in Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory on Saturday following stampede at flood sharing event to usher the Xmas festivities. Obi, in a tweet while reacting to the development, said he condemned the cause of children's death in Ibadan during the pre-Xmas fair as a reflection of the nation's systemic failure. He said a lot of things. He says that, I quote, the devastating news of innocent children reportedly stampede to death during Christmas celebration in Ibadan is both heart-wrenching and a stark reflection of the systemic failures that plagued our nation today. While he was making the statement, there is a reaction coming from Reno Mokri, where he says on X again, accusing Obi of being insensitive to the victim's plight. He said rather than seeking to reap political benefits from the tragedy, the Labour Party candidate should have empathy or should have empathized with the people who lost their lives. See details in the Nation newspaper this morning. Obi's systemic failure for stampede death uncharitable, says Omokri. And to other matters now, Tinubu's team uncoordinated, suffering economic illiteracy, ex-presidential candidate Adebayo says. Former presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo, has described President Bola Tinubu's economic team as uncoordinated and suffering economic illiteracy. It tackled the Minister of Finance for saying that the economy was doing good amidst heavy external borrowings. Adebayo told newsmen in an interview that President Bola Tinubu government is suffering from economic illiteracy. His words are, and I quote, "I always wish there will be a good day for Nigeria, but it is not a good day when the finance minister believes that the day he goes borrowing in London is a good day. How can it be a good day when Nigeria goes overseas to give investment in the capital market for the excess production that we have? No minister that we had in the past would say the day we went borrowing was a good day." End of quote. He further said a lot of things there, but it's a long read. See details in the Daily Post newspaper this morning. All right, still, I'm going to take these still on the Stampede, where it's there is a reaction coming from the coalition of united political parties. It's quite an important one to look into. Nigeria now home to citizens fighting, struggling for rise. That's coming from CUPP. The coalition of united political parties, CUPP, has reacted to the recent tragic incident in which 63 people, according to the Daily Post newspaper, lost their lives in a scramble for rise in some states in the country. According to reports from the police commands in those states, there were several incidents of, stampedes which resulted in the death of many. However, there have been reactions. CPP said that this is a stark reminder of the paradox that defines the nation. It says in a statement that a country blessed with 39.6 million hectares of arable land, capable of feeding its population and even exporting surplus, is a home for citizens, or is a home to citizens who die in desperation, struggling for a bag of rice, the coalition said in a statement that was signed by Chief Peter Ame, its national secretary. He further said a lot of things. It says this incident is a shameful indictment on our nation's failure to harness its vast resources to ensure the basic needs of its citizens are met. See details again in the Daily Post newspaper. Stampede Nigeria now home to citizens fighting, struggling for rise. That's according to Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP. In the Punch newspaper, 10 ministries get over 1 trillion naira each in 2025 budget. No fewer than 10 federal ministries and agencies under their purview got over 1 trillion naira each as appropriation in the 2025 budget. The Punch analysis has shown. A breakdown of the proposed allocation contained in the 2025 appropriation bill presented to the National Assembly showed that the ministries including Police Affairs, Interior, Defense, Finance, Power, Works and Budget and Economic Planning. Others are the Ministry of Niger Delta, Education and Health. The proposed budget showed that the Finance Ministry got the highest allocation of 17.52 trillion naira. Majority of these is for salary payments. The amount is an increase of 87.78% or 8.19 trillion naira from the 9.33 trillion naira allocated in 2023. This was followed by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, which got an increase of 2.33 trillion naira or 52.35% to 6.78 trillion naira in the 2025 budget. Third on the list is the Ministry of Defense with an appropriation of 2.91 trillion naira, indicating an increase of 1.34 trillion naira or 84.81%. The Ministry of Interior got an allocation of 1.13 trillion naira from 461 billion naira in 2024. While the Power Ministry got a 510.46% increase to 2.1 trillion naira from the 344 billion naira in 2024. The Works Ministry also got a proposal of 1.14 trillion naira from 657.23 billion naira. It's quite a detailed analysis there from the Punch newspaper. Also, Niger Delta Ministry got 2.23 trillion naira, and Education got 2.57 trillion naira. Health also got 1.91 trillion naira. See details on the Punch newspaper this morning. 10 ministries get over 1 trillion naira each in 2025 budget. In the Vanguard newspaper, there is this story that is getting my attention, which is hardship. Nigerians now serve Agbo Jedi libido boosters at Owambe's. Now, the details are saying after COVID-19, the quality of food served at parties and ceremonies, popularly known as Owambe's in local parlance, reduced significantly. Before then, guests were served with assorted food, including jollof rice and swallows. But COVID reduced the choice to either or, even none in some cases. However, if COVID-19 dents the Owambe lifestyle of Nigerians, the present economic conditions has worsened it. Now, the size and types of drinks, food portions, venue, ashwebis, among other things that are accompanying an Owambe have changed shape. The latest change is the serving of Agbo Jedi and other booster apps at parties. Agbo Jedi is a Yoruba word to describe a less expensive herb meant for the treatment of piles, is mainly used in households and rarely found in parties. Economy and Lifestyle discovered that herbs for pile treatment and other boosters have now joined the collection of drinks served at Owambe. According to Mrs. Abibat Jolausho, a businesswoman whose daughter just got married, she served Agbo Jedi and libido booster at her daughter's wedding recently to cut the cost of drink. She says some words, and I would like to quote her. Everyone knows that the cost of buying a pack of soft drink, beer, and alcoholic wine is very expensive. Even water is no-go area. Having a mini party of 100 guests will cost over 1 million naira today. It's quite a challenging one for every person in the country. See details in the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Again, the headline says, hardship. Nigerians now serve Agbo Jedi libido boosters at Owambe's. 070470077701 or 070727666278. I see the studio line buzzing. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling us from?
My name is Comrade Adedoyin from Osokiti.
All right, go ahead.
And happy Christmas by the grace of God.
Many thanks. Many thanks.
I want to speak on palliative. I want to beg our parents to please give what we have at home to our children. We should not check out our children to where palliative is being distributed. It's animalistic. If you give what you have at home to your children will eat and maintain it. Instead of taking them to where free food is distributed, it is not a good allocation of resources. Then let me advise those who have the money to gather children and give food to them. It's wrong. Use your money judiciously, not until you gather children from different areas and give them what they have not taken before or eaten before. Every person organizing that kind of a situation must invite the security agencies to monitor people coming in and people coming out. All the social services and every local government in our state to monitor the way it's being organized. By the grace of God, the mishap that has happened at Ibadan and in different states will not repeat itself in Nigeria again.
Amen. Amen.
By
Thank
the
you.
grace of God.
Amen.
God bless Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you so much indeed for your contribution there. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Joshua.
This is Pastor Joshua.
Please go
God
ahead.
bless you, my brother. Happy Merry Christmas in advance and in advance. God bless you.
Amen.
The standard of the thing that was happening everywhere is just to show to the federal government the level of hunger in the land. That is the message. So if they really know what is at stake now, they need to do the needful. People are hungry. People are seriously hungry. That is why you see when they call out to give out anything, people will troop out, over troop out. So me, I don't believe that because people are giving, the people that are coming out to give, they wanted to be of help. People need help, and government refuse to give that help. So this is the problem on ground. Somebody coming out to tell us that they are doing fine by borrowing money. I'm not against you borrowing money, but what do you borrow that money for?
All right.
What are you using those money for?
All right. Many
So
thanks.
God help us in Nigeria.
Many thanks
Thank you
indeed.
very much. God bless you.
Amen. Many thanks indeed. Now there's a reaction coming from quite a lot of reactions, but I like to take this as reported in the Nation newspaper this morning. Ibadan Stampede cleric condoles victims, families urges calm. Prophet Sam Olualo, renowned cleric and planter of Christ Apostolic Church, Adamimogo Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain worldwide, has expressed condolences to the families and relatives of those affected by the recent stampede at the Fun Fair in Ibadan. In a statement released by his personal assistant, Deji Ogumbusi, Prophet Olualo extended his sympathies not only to the bereaved families but also to those currently in police detention over the incident. He urged all affected to remain calm and steadfast in faith during the challenging period. The cleric reminded the grieving families of the importance of resilience, emphasizing that God, as the giver and taker of life, will provide solace and strength to overcome their pains. That's coming from Prophet Sam Olualo. And that's where we draw the curtain on this morning's edition of the Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. It returns again tomorrow. My name is Oladoyin Ayegbusi. Many thanks for listening. Good morning.